again?
Are you done yet?
I'm done. Oh.
Do you want to...
I can't, guys. I can't.
Do you want an intro like that? Okay, go. Okay, guys.
Guys.
Oh my god, wait, what's happening? Is it snowing?
Yeah.
Wow. Alright. Well, it happened.
Don't say it like that.
It's happening.
It's snowing.
It is snowing, but the only reason why we know this is because it's Friday and we're sitting in the car because we had to get out of the house because we have COVID and we can't go anywhere and we can't do anything.
We're being responsible citizens of the world.
Yeah. I mean, that's not funny. I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's not funny. I mean, we literally don't have a choice but to hang out together inside of the car or within four walls. So today we're broadcasting live on the side of the road from our drive where it's now snowing. It's rather cute, actually. How are you feeling?
I can't breathe.
She can't breathe. You can't cough all over the podcast.
I have COVID.
I know, but you can't.
All right, I'll do my best to not cough.
Thank you.
No problem.
With your asthma?
Yeah.
All right.
It's not that bad. You're fine.
I feel fine. Actually, today I was thinking about how I feel like tired. Like I feel the most tired, I think. You know?
I feel like waking up is hard, but once I'm up and moving, I can breathe better and I don't feel as tired.
I know. You make me nervous at night and in the morning when you can't breathe.
It's asthma, baby.
I know.
And
anyways,
COVID.
Asthma and COVID. It's quite the duo. On a more serious note, not so serious note, it's been like, if we're having some silver linings, because especially did you listen to last week's episode where I was talking about...
Of course.
No, you didn't. She's lying.
I did listen, I think.
The irony, not so irony, is talking about, like, as a collective, like, how this is really the first time that, like, I kind of take stock in, like, all of our friends, our family, and, like, how everybody has just kind of been, like, depleted. Like, as a collective, I think we're all
It's
just, like...
caught up with us.
Yeah, after 2 years. And then it really did catch up with us. And so, you know that I love to talk about timing and just, like... That's another hill that we're going to die on in this podcast, is I love a timely...
I knew you were going to fucking say that.
I love timely moments. And what's more timely than this?
You know what? I'm going to have a shout out for Melissa. We should do bingo with your sayings.
We should.
Because I would win every single time.
Podcast bingo?
Uh-huh.
All right. Timely moments.
Yep.
What else?
I can't. That laughing at yourself.
Laughing at my own jokes. Yeah. I think that should really just be an episode on its own.
I need to think of a couple more, but there's several.
We'll circle back to that. Anyways,
Play along, everyone.
If you have something to contribute by way of sayings that Ava has during this podcast series, let me know what those are. I'll make bingo cards.
Yeah.
Pass them out. We'll do it virtually. You want to cough, don't you? Okay, but back to silver linings.
It's nice to have a break.
Yeah.
From life.
Kinda.
Even though it's gross.
It's kind of gross and
prefer to
it
not have
stresses
it at
me out, but
it's like we went this long, I feel like I lost. Like I was winning because I hadn't gotten it yet, and now I'm one of the losers that got it.
You can't say one of the losers. That's no.
Okay, sorry. I apologize.
That's not kind. Now you're a loser.
That's what I said.
Thanks for participating. It's like the Hunger Games out here.
Yeah.
Except it's not.
You're out. It's like tag, you're out. You're out.
It is shitty though. And like from a privilege standpoint, I mean, aside from your asthma, I mean, I feel pretty grateful that, like, if this is going to be the worst of either one of our symptoms, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. And
that's what that vax is about.
A lot of this could have been a lot worse, but I'm feeling, I mean, it is nice. Like, it was nice to make dinner, #COVID meals.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not making ossobuco on a
regular basis
on a Thursday night. That's Dottie is also reporting live from the back seat. Dad.
Hey. No.
I'm not making ossobuco, like, on a Thursday. But in an Instant Pot, I mean...
You could.
You totally could.
I'm going to blast you now. Uh-huh. Because somebody felt the need to chop all the mirepoix herself.
Uh-huh.
And
did a fantastic job.
If we wanted to talk about your consistency in your cuts,
yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
Were any of the vegetables left when we were eating the ossobuco?
I don't think that they're supposed to be.
Down?
That's what they're supposed to do, in my opinion.
Okay, that's fine.
Aren't they not?
I don't know. You're in charge. Whatever. I didn't go to culinary school. It's not a big deal. That noise. 3 down. Check it off.
She did go to culinary school, and she loves to remind us. Mm-hmm. Don't you?
Well, because you forget.
Did you, at the beginning of the pandemic, were you cooking more?
Honestly, because I worked at a restaurant, and the restaurant closed right away, and because Uncle Sam was paying me, we were ordering out a lot because we were food service people trying to keep everybody that was still open in business.
Yeah, I feel you.
And since I was fortunate enough to have the money to do that, me and my sister, who kind of quarantined with me at the beginning, we tried to give back to, like, the restaurants that we wanted to help keep alive.
Yeah.
So, like, we did order out a lot. But I do think that I definitely probably cooked more than I normally do because I was at home all the time. Because working in food service, you eat at work or you don't eat. So
that's a good perspective, because I think, especially at the beginning, like, there's that meme that's like, we went from scrubbing our Doritos to, like, kissing, like, the UPS dude on the mouth.
Right.
Like, I think in the beginning, like, I was hyper cautious, like, didn't
see anybody, didn't do anything.
Well, and didn't even order, but for sure, like, I mean, once we started watching the industry fucking tank and people literally, like, clamoring to do whatever they could do to do any kind of sales whatsoever, like, we were seeing to-go cocktails and, like, crazy specials and, like, family pack type bullshit of, like, please God, just come in. That, for sure, like, that was absolutely worth it to me. Hot Valley was actually, like, one of the...
Oh, they did stuff like that.
That was, like, one of the first places that we did take out from.
The place that I work at now, we, during, like, probably the end of, or probably mid-lockdown, I was driving, we just went out for a drive to get out of the house, and we were like, oh, they're doing window service, like, at the block, and they were selling to-go cocktails and bottles, and because, like everyone else, we were drinking super heavily throughout the first half of the quarantine.
I wasn't drinking heavily.
Well, you have kids. You didn't...
I was also pregnant, but...
Oh, yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
So we, like, would stock up with them because it kept them alive to have those little bit of sales that they could get. But, yeah, I didn't do, like, a crazy amount of cooking.
I was opposite. I mean, like, that was, like, still... I mean, I was, 6 months pregnant with Maddox, and I was, like, already on my shit anyways, like, in terms of...
You baked bread, didn't you? You were one of those sourdough bread bakers.
Yes. I did start a sourdough starter. But did I have a starter before that? But I definitely, like, got pretty deep into it once, the pandemic started. But there was, like, a handful of us that, like, other bakers that I knew online, like home bakers, and we started doing, like, drop-offs at each other's, like, front steps of
That's
just
cute.
like, like, I made this and it's a shitload, and I
trades and getting rid of stuff.
For sure. Yeah, and we did that for...
I wish I knew some people like that.
We did that for the first, like, several months. But, I mean, I got... Like, that's when I was already cooking and baking a lot because I was still on my, like, cooking through grief type thing. But, I mean, I, like, made a whole ass... I mean, from, like, the time that I got up until, like, the end of the day, like, there was always some kind of, like, project... cooking, baking type situation. Hella bagels. I made bagels.
That's crazy. Bagels are hard.
They're not.
Lye. You didn't use lye, though, you said.
I did not.
Lye is hard.
I did like a baking soda boil type situation.
So you cheated? Sorry. I'm just like, that's not how you make bagels. It's like a cheat. That's
Have you ever made bagels?
Yeah, in college, at culinary school.
Oh, okay.
With lye.
Have you ever made them at home?
No, because I wouldn't, because I'm not a baker.
Oh, okay.
I hate baking, period.
I know you do.
You should tell them what you baked for me while we're sick. The COVID cakes you gave me. The day I found out I had COVID, she had made like 24 funfetti cupcakes that I took to work, and everybody's like, "Okay, cool, you have COVID. Get the hell out of here." And
What about these COVID cakes?
They were like, "No, you can leave the cupcakes. Leave those COVID cupcakes. Funfetti cupcakes."
Listen,
Out of a box.
Just because I'm a baker, like after I had surgery, I really was just like about that sprinkle cake situation.
So good.
And then Megan sent us sprinkle cake, and it was fantastic.
It was so good.
And then I just was like still on that.
It wasn't sprinkle cake, it was gay rainbow cake.
It was, oh, that's right. It was super gay rainbow cake. Yes. But I was like still on that shtick, and I know that you have an affinity for box cake because you're an animal.
I'm sorry, I was raised on box mixes and my mom didn't know how to cook anything.
So it's nostalgic for you?
Yeah. And it tastes fucking delicious. They're moist, the frosting with those little chunks of candy in them. Fuck yeah.
Oh, and there was Dunkaroo sprinkle frosting.
Yeah.
It was even better than funfetti bullshit frosting. See, silver linings everywhere.
You know, thinking back about like Uncle Sam giving me all that money, I could keep so many people in business if they would just hand me money. I'd just give it away. Like they give it to me and I give it back. Pump it back into the industry.
You are such an industry head. You really are.
I just really want to like support people and never have to cook.
I was going to say, yeah, you don't ever want to actually do. For somebody that went to culinary school, your culinary soirees in the kitchen are minimal at best. Minimal at best, which is really unfortunate because you are rather talented.
Once it's your job, it's not fun anymore.
I know, but it's not your job anymore. What's your excuse?
Sucks the life out of you.
What's your excuse?
I'm still stuck in the industry. I don't have time to cook.
Okay. Anyways,
you did a lot of cooking though for the. Actually, I cooked breakfast this whole time. I never cook breakfast.
You always, whenever you're at my house, you always make breakfast, and that's actually like something that I have like come to very love.
You want to know why I make breakfast?
Huh.
Because we get up at fucking 5:45 in the morning, and I don't know what else to do until 9 when I would normally wake up. So I have to cook. I have to do something. I can only watch Spider-Man so many times before I need to like make a souffle.
Tell me that you don't actually love getting up earlier.
Yeah.
Tell me that you don't.
I wish we would get up when the sun like at sunrise, not
in the summer,
30
baby,
minutes before.
The sun will be up. Don't you worry.
That's fine.
It'll be fine.
Kill me.
I do love that has like become your thing. Is that like you're in charge of making breakfast? I mean, you're like so good with a grill, and you make a really fantastic salmon. So I wish sometimes that there was like a little more dinner type situations. Okay. I'm dropping hints without dropping hints.
You.
I'm like, oh, you're so talented. Make me dinner, please, God. What are you making for dinner tonight?
Leftovers.
I was gonna say, are you repurposing leftovers?
Yeah, that's another fun. I like to do that.
You do like to do that. Ooh, what did you do? Like that crispy rice situation was so good.
Oh yeah, what did you make that night?
What did I make?
You made that like soup.
Oh, the Taiwanese beef noodle soup,
which was bomb. And then in the morning we made crispy like rice pancakes almost, and then warmed up the beef, kimchi, chives, cilantro, chili oil. That was fire, and an over easy egg, all runny and yum.
You did.
Your kids mouthed that too. It was delicious.
I know when you housed
she liked it. Yeah.
I know. But she loves a savory breakfast moment.
Me too. That's my thing.
I know.
I hate American breakfast.
I know you do.
We're really going off on some tangents.
I mean, if anybody listens to this podcast,
they know
that's you're just checking all the boxes. Bingo! I won. I think that like I don't know. I think at the beginning, I've always been able to look at my position, especially in the pandemic, as like coming from a place of privilege, right? I mean, like hella scary moments for sure. Like, you know, what do I do with my kid? And I was pregnant, but I mean, at the end of the day, like I had 4 walls, and I mean, bills were getting paid. Maybe for a beat it was barely, but like we were making it happen. And I did, like, I kept everybody like neat and tidy in their bubble. Like Mooney and I masked up and were outside all day long. I cooked, and that was like a anxiety release for, you know, for the time being. My life looks drastically different. I mean, like, none of that is like, that's not a thing. I can't do that. And I definitely feel like on the edge of my seat in terms of like her school and like what the fuck is going to happen and what would happen if they went to remote learning, or if the school had to shut down, or if Maddox's daycare. So some of that, like, early on, I don't want to minimize the pandemic and like what it has meant for a lot of other families and the rest of the world even. But I feel like at the beginning there was kind of this, it wasn't an excitement, but it was like, right, okay, we got to do what we got to do. Like we're being safe. And now
we thought it wasn't going to be that long either. We thought it was going to be like a quick 2 weeks of lockdown. And
now it's like, I think everybody, like, this whole time, my perspective is like, oh, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And people, like, we've lost that.
Nah. This is like the new normal.
Yeah. And I think that, like you said at the beginning, in terms of where we're at 2 years ago and now, it's just like, it's like a new normal, and the light at the end of the tunnel seems like non-existent.
Yeah.
Like
we're out of the tunnel. This is just life. No. Mask on, mask off. You get sick, you stay home. Try not to share your germs. Don't eat chili cheese fries with your friends at bowling, because you'll get COVID.
The end. Yeah. That's your take. That's what you have to offer.
Pretty much.
I do, though. I mean, not to take it for a real bleak turn, but yeah. I mean, like, as a collective, like, people are fucking tired. Even people that don't have kids, like the parents that I know right now, like the general consensus is like, fuck me. Yeah. Like the mothers that I know are all like, it's just like this flat line of like, I've got nothing.
The thing, like, you know, like we had a snow day here in Denver last week, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, for a working parent to have a snow day is such a nightmare. Because what do? Like, you can't shut down your business. You still have to get your work done. Now you have to watch your kids, especially if they're little and they need your constant attention. Like, I feel like the pandemic now is like, yeah, schools may shut down, or they may go to remote learning, but parents are still expected to work. Like, we're not shutting down businesses again. So, like, you go home. Yeah, your kids might be home, but you're not getting paid by the government to stay home now, and you're fucked. Like, you need to just figure it out.
It feels like that adrenaline of like sitting on the edge of your seat at the beginning of the pandemic that kind of carried us, right? Like, at least that's what it was for me. Is it was
stay
like,
safe.
Yeah,
this is kind of cool that we're off work. This is kind of not cool because I'm scared about my parents. Right. I don't know what's gonna happen.
But like, there was like that adrenaline, right? Of like, and I feel like that kind of kept a little bit of the momentum. Like, again, excitement isn't, I mean, nervous excitement, scared excitement, like being generally excited, not in a great way, but just, I feel like that carried so many of us for so long, was like the unknown. And now, obviously, I think that it's like compounded this time of year because we're like post-holiday. Yeah. It's fucking cold. It's like dreary. And so I think that like, if for people that have like sad, you know, like it's all, yeah. It looks like a little bleak right now, but seriously,
you really just brought me down. I wasn't that sad.
I'm so sorry.
I had like 5 days off work and all I have is a cough, like, luckily enough, and now you just made me feel like the world's ending.
It's the apocalypse. I mean,
I'm ready to go when it happens.
You are always hoping for zombies. So I mean, so here we are.
I'll be at REI getting my stuff.
Getting your bow and arrows.
No.
Don't. You're not getting into that.
Okay.
The look on her face. She clearly has a list locked and loaded of the things.
I thought you were going to give me the go ahead.
No. You guys can write into me though.
Yeah, what was my list?
What was Jess's list for the apocalypse? I really do though. I mean, even now, I think that my personal shit of like lack of creativity or like my desire to be in the kitchen, I get like spurts here and there, right, of like wanting to like experience and do that again. But I mean, number one, from a schedule standpoint, that's not a thing, right? Like I can't just be in the kitchen all day long, even if I wanted to be. But yeah, I mean, like 2 years into this, I'm just like, meh.
I do think, like, after you had your surgery, you were like, I need to cook. Like, that's the why you made that soup. You're like, I just need to, I was like, don't. You're sick, you're not supposed to do stuff, just relax. And you were like, no, I need to cook something. Like, I need to be in the kitchen. That's going to make me feel better. And you did, and it was delicious. And, like, we kind of did that last night. Like, we wanted to cook. And
That's for sure, like, a coping mechanism of mine. Oh, see. Way to go.
sorry, I accidentally pressed a button on the steering wheel.
That is a coping mechanism of mine, though, is, like, to do something with
Right.
my hands, for sure.
Yeah.
To, like, take my mind
Biscuits.
off of, biscuits.
Scones.
To take my mind off stuff.
Yeah, me too.
I feel normal. Like, it brings, like, a sense of normalcy. And also, I feel productive. I feel like it gives me a creative outlet. And it's, like, the fact that I can share it with somebody, you know? That I can, like, make something and give it to somebody else. That I can feed your face.
I was going to say the same thing.
Were
That's
you?
why I went to culinary school
Is it?
at Johnson Wales University. They're out of business. It doesn't matter.
That's why you went to culinary school? Is to feed faces?
Feed faces. No, just be creative and have fun. That's why I don't bake, because you can't be creative. I'll say it till I die.
I mean, you can.
Oh, I got one. That's the hill I'm going to die on. Bingo! Bingo!
You can. I also, and I think people that have listened to this have heard me say it several times, that, like, I did not like baking for a
Right,
very
yeah.
long time. That was not a thing for me. Because of that, right, is because I had convinced myself that I did
Right.
not have... You are right. Like, last night, you're, like, toasting bread and, like, a little bit of salt and, like, let's put some herbs in there. You're just, like, riffing off of, like, you
gran
love...
padano.
Yeah, you love a chopped moment. Like, whatever is in the kitchen, like, at her hand, she's all, what the fuck can I make?
No, it's more of a garnish. Like, we need a garnish. This needs a crunch. We needed an acid.
Okay, so you explained to them what you were doing as I was
Well, that was
finishing up
it.
this stew. Proceed.
Well,
You can
proceed.
you can start from the top.
That was it. We were having stew, and it needed, like, a crunchy component. So I just did, like...
What did you call
It's gran padana or gran padana. That's what it's called.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's just breadcrumbs with herbs and fucking salt and pepper and chili flake. And somebody got this really nice lemon olive oil for Christmas, so I used that.
I have no idea who got that for me.
Yeah, Santa put it in your stocking, and so that on there was really nice because that, like, brightened it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it was good on there.
For sure, especially texturally.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about you, is, like, it's nice even
I'll
when...
fix your flat meal. I'll give it that.
Fuck you! Oh my god!
I'll give it that last little push.
Take it back immediately, or I'm never feeding you again. I wish you
Just
could see your face. I'll fix your flat meal. That's your tagline.
The only reason I said that is because I know you can't hurt me because we're being recorded.
I'll fix your flat meal.
No, you never have a flat meal.
I love that about you, though. And I mean, even if I generally do more of the cooking, and I understand from, like, a scheduling standpoint that, like,
I honestly think you're better at it than me, so that's why I let you do the cooking. I'll clean up
That's-
because I think
That's a lie.
the stuff you make is more fun. I make more traditional classic stuff, and you make, like, stuff that I never cooked at home.
Yeah, but I just, like, the stuff that you're good at, like, that's not any of my shit.
Yeah, like a meatloaf with a ranch packet.
Do you make that?
No, I don't use ranch packet. Use Lipton onion soup mix. Duh, idiot. What a stupid question.
Anyways, that's something that I love about you, is even the times that you're in the kitchen, whether it's just making breakfast really quick or contributing a garnish for my flat ass stew. I love watching you do that, though. And it's nice to see you, like, be creative in that way.
Once in a while, it's fun. As long as you're doing the dishes.
I don't ever do the dishes.
I know it's so annoying.
It's because I cook. That's, you know, the rules,
I know.
baby.
It's like the only reason I want to cook is so I don't have to do the dishes.
I mean, we can go home and you can make me, like, a fucking terrine. You could make me a cassoulet.
There's like no, those are one pot things.
What else could you make me?
Terrines are gross. That should
That
be a
is,
whole other
yeah.
episode.
Gross.
Aspic.
Yeah.
Traditional French.
Yeah, make me an aspic.
You know what you could do is have me on as often as you want, but we could do like the 16 classes you take in culinary school, and like we can break them down for the home chef so they can like learn the nonsense French techniques that no one uses anymore, but they still do it in like culinary competitions and stuff across the globe.
Ooh, let's just give people a snippet, and maybe after this episode we can talk about shit you should care about, but not actually really, but
but fun stuff to play with in the kitchen.
Yeah.
What were my classes?
Yeah, like what's something that you actually like loved?
My first class was garde manger, which is like cold prep. So we did a lot of like aspic bullshit and like cold force meats and things like that. Yeah. Pâtés and like pickled shit, all a bunch of stuff. I mean, it was an awesome class. Like, it's very cool to learn, but half the stuff I didn't want to eat because it's a cold roulade with, 17 different meat parts in it, and it looks crazy and nuts. Yeah, but it's pretty, but yeah, it's not good. Traditional European, traditional French, soup, stocks, and sauces.
Ooh, the mother sauces?
Yeah.
Should we talk about the mother sauces sometime?
Yeah, so like the Rainbow has Roy G. Biv.
Yeah.
The mother sauces are Beth has VD.
That's terrible.
Well, that's just the acronym that they use in culinary school.
That's not surprising.
Sorry. We fought about mother sauces one time, didn't we?
No? Did we?
I think we did, because you didn't agree with one of them or two of them.
I don't know.
Anyways, we'll talk about it later. I don't remember. There's
What
so
was
many.
like
There were so many. I don't remember.
What do you feel like was semi-pointless, but like you actually really loved?
Literally none of them. I hated my baking classes. I hated them. I was not a good student in high school, and I excelled so much in hands-on learning in culinary school. Like, I had straight A's in culinary school. In high school, I was like a C, D, B student. But like, not in home ec, but in everything else. And so like culinary school was like, holy shit, I'm getting A's, and I'm having fun, and I'm learning cool shit.
What was your favorite thing to learn about?
Oh, meat cutting was my second class, I think. Like, you break down a whole pig,
Butchering.
you break down a whole cow, fish, like all different kinds of fish you learn how to butcher. And it was just cool to learn. I mean, I already had a lot of the skills, because I had already been like going to I literally went to culinary camp when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. And it was a week at a local culinary school, Kendall College in Chicago, which is a pretty big deal. And I would stay there.
Which is a pretty big deal.
It is. Kendall College is a like prominent culinary school. And I would stay there for a week in like the dorms. We thought we were so cool.
Oh my god.
It was so dorky.
You
But it was so fun. Like, I already had the skill set, but I learned a ton of shit. None of my culinary classes were a waste. A lot of the other classes were fucking stupid, because I had to still take like academia bullshit. But don't go to culinary school, kids. Do a stage. Go work at a restaurant.
For real.
But it was cool.
We should do a class at home. What class? If you had to teach me anything, what would you teach me?
I think I could teach.
I'm telling you, what are you going to teach me?
Soup, stocks, and sauces.
Uh-huh.
I could get you. I could. But you already know all that. Like, you know it without having.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, what would you teach me? COVID times. We have COVID. We have to be at home.
You don't do a lot of. I mean, I think like traditional French stuff you would probably like to learn.
Yeah, like what would you teach me? What's like a dish?
Oh God.
Pick one, and then I'm going to make you do this.
Oh, you know what I would make you do? Like all the table side stuff we had to learn. So like a whole seared bass or trout almondine, but it's a whole fish. And at the table, you peel back the skin, you remove the bones, you serve it, and it's all with spoons on like a special tray. Beef Wellington, like those things that like take extra time that people are like, why do they still do that? Or like, we would do Cherry's Jubilee or Bananas Foster tableside with other students to like learn how to do tableside service for like high-end restaurants that like barely exist anymore.
From the 1974.
Yeah, even like 1924.
I think that's
I wonder if they can hear my deep breathing. Get this mic away from me.
I think they can. They can hear us coughing. They can hear your weird asthmatic. Yeah. I mean, this is what we have to offer you. COVID times. Yeah. Everybody thinks that I'm joking. I'm not. We're going to go home. We're going to make a list. We're going to have somebody DoorDash some shit. And we're going to have a welcome to Jessica's tableside country club class.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. And I'm so excited. And I can't wait to report back. You have any famous last words? Bingo!
Yeah, I was just saying bingo. That was gonna be it. Bingo.
Thanks for hanging out with me.
No problem. Oh, me or them?
You.
Oh, no problem, baby.
I like having COVID with you in the car.
Honestly, like 5 days doesn't seem like a long time, but like by the time we were playing categories yesterday, I was like, what are we gonna do tomorrow? You run out of things to do.
We went for a drive.
Yeah, now we're gonna go home and make bananas Foster.
Tableside.
It's not even that hard.
Okay, I love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.